I'm the Chris who plays games, and this is your CPG rant of the evening. One of the things that many people don't seem to realize is that if you want to run a successful YouTube channel, the best way to run it is like a business. Now, many of the people who don't realize this are viewers. Viewers who complain that people are trying to make money off of this. You mean someone actually has to pay in order to get this great content that I've watched every day for the past 2 years? That this content doesn't come for free out of magic? That you can't just make money on the 1 cent for every 1,000 views that you get on YouTube? It's not actually 1 cent for every 1,000 views, but you know what I mean. It's not easy to make a living doing this. Now, some people have done this. There are probably thousands of channels that actually make a decent living making money on YouTube, and YouTube is constantly growing, and more people are constantly entering into that vein. One of the channels I've mentioned several times is the Real Engineering channel that was able to do that, but the way that the Real Engineering channel was able to make that work is that he sat down and made a plan. He said, I'm going to save up money for 3 years, and then I'm going to take 6 months off and make it all about my YouTube channel. And did it. The Real Engineering channel now has more than 250,000 subscribers. It has gotten more than 7 million views. It has more than $600 per video support via Patreon. It is a great channel that has been able to turn this into a minimally profitable business enterprise. But one of the ways that he's done that is he's identified a niche that is not covered by existing channels and has concentrated on it. The same type of thing that you have to do if you're going to write a business plan. So if you're going to sit down and write a business plan, your business plan cannot be, if you want to create a successful business, do exactly the same thing as the guy across the street from me is doing and do it better. And then I'll make money. A little bit of money, maybe a lot of money. I don't really know. That's not how a business plan works. Instead, a business plan is where you sit down and you figure out what you're going to offer that other businesses can't. You sit down and figure out how much money you're going to make and how you're going to make it. And in some cases, you put a significant amount of personal or financial or other investment towards this business plan in order to figure out how to make it successful. So some people save for a while in order to invest in a startup. Some people convince investors that they're making something useful. All these kinds of things exist. Right? And so in order to make a business plan, you sit down, you figure out a niche that isn't covered, you figure out a way that you're going to create something that is going to have value to people, and you figure out how you're going to make money off of it. So on YouTube, one of the ways you can make money is off of advertising. One of the ways you can make money is off of creator support. One of the ways you can make money is off of all of these different things. But the reality is if you're sitting down and thinking, I'm going to make a gaming channel and it's going to make money, I kind of look at you a little bit odd. Now, I will say there is one exception to this, which I think that we can talk about, which is Zoe Berger, who I think did actually sit down, look at her channel as a business, and figure out how to make money with it. I think that there are some people who've done this, and of course, there's always going to be the exceptional case that succeeds even when they aren't offering anything that's particularly unique. That's going to happen. But I think that if you look around, what you're going to find is that the majorly successful channels, the Philip DeFranco, the Real Engineering, the Game Over Greggy / Kind of Funny team, the other things like that, when I look through the top earning Patreons, the Patreons who've made more than $100,000 this year in an email that was sent out by Patreon, what I find is that each of them is doing something that isn't covered by other genres, that isn't covered in the same way by other people, that has access to unique skills and unique abilities and unique content and unique creation. And so, for example, one of the things that you might want to do if you're going to establish this as a business is to engage in a relationship with other large creators, possibly via payment, and say, I would like to do a video with you, I would like to do a collaboration with you, I can bring to the table like X, and you can bring to the table Y. And maybe that X is money, and maybe it is skills in editing, and maybe it is skills in interesting things, or maybe it's a community, or other things like that. Maybe all of these things are things that you could bring to the table. When I went to the How to Travel for Free VidCon session, one of the things that the people who were running the session brought up is how much people who run hotels and other things like that are unable to do their own editing. You have a skill which is valued more highly by the hotel in the terms of free rooms and room service and like other things like that than it is valued by the by your time. right? They would pay $1,000 or $5,000 to do this in free rooms, and so you can travel for free by exchanging video editing time or creating a spot for them in order to do this that they can then use as an advertisement on TV and so on and so forth. This is trading off of a skill in order to do something else with it, and in the process, now you've got a free hotel room, and you can go make other videos that are going to make you money directly in addition to that. Like, these are all things that you can do. But again, in order to make a business, you have to sit down and you have to look at what is your unique offering, what can you do that's different than what other people can do, and how much money do you expect to make from it? And be realistic. You know, earlier today, someone was like, hey, you should live stream this X thing about like internal Google politics or whatever. And it was obviously a joke, right? Like, I wouldn't live stream internal things about Google. I don't even talk about internal things about Google, but it was as a joke they made, like, you should do this. You'll become the next Gangnam Style and make $1 million or whatever else like that. And I sat down and I said, no, like, realistically, the most well-performing video that's out there that's a viral video as opposed to a music video or a kid's video or anything else like that is Charlie Bit My Finger, which over the course of something like 7 years has gotten 895 million views, equivalent to about $895,000. It does not make sense for me to lose my job over making a viral video over an internal YouTube thing, because even if it was the most viral video ever, I would still be in a bad position compared to like working at Google for 3 years. But like, more realistically, viral videos tend to get like 1 to 5 million views. Videos that are in the education space tend to get 200,000 to 500,000 views when they're very popular. Now, there are ways to improve that. You can look at the hydraulic press or the 1,000-degree hot knife or other things like that that have gotten millions of views relatively quickly with almost no community behind them. But those are cases where someone saw a niche and was able to capitalize on it. And Mr. Gear, as I'm watching a cat chase its tail, Mr. Gear, as he like made these videos and they became popular, was quick to capitalize on it. So was quick to say like, okay, well, I thought this would be X, but really it's X times 10, and therefore I should make another 7 of these. And so basically for the entire Christmas season, from December 20th to January 5th, all anyone ever saw and recommended was like 1,000-degree hot knife videos. And he like had a decent thumbnail and title and got people to click and watch, and so that was how it went. And I don't know that you can plan for that. But instead, make a plan for the moderate success. Make a plan for what you're doing that's different than anybody else. Because although it is true that many people have succeeded on YouTube without business plans, and although it's true many people have succeeded on YouTube by just making their lives online, the reality is that most of it is far easier to be successful if you invest the necessary things in creating a plan around what you're going to do. Maybe you're going to pay an editor. Maybe you're going to buy software. Maybe you're going to interact with someone and take a class. Maybe you're going to do all these things, but you have to look at it as an investment. And you don't have to do that. You can do YouTube as a hobby. I do YouTube as a hobby. I've made enough to buy myself a computer. I've made enough to help a friend buy a new laptop. I've made enough to help fund part of my VidCon trip and those of others and other things like that. Like, these are all good things that you can do. But if you're going to sit here and say, I don't know how to run my YouTube channel successfully and turn it into a business plan, you have a thought of what you're offering that other businesses aren't offering. You have a reasonable evaluation of the potential like income and revenue from that. And you have a reasonable evaluation of the profits that you can make. The profits you can make are going to be impacted by your costs. The profits you can make are going to be impacted by how successful you are executing the thing that you're going to be good at. And realistically, you're talking about a 6 to 12 month investment before you see any positive return in almost all cases. It is impossible to grow a YouTube channel overnight. So if you want to do this for real, if you want to make it a business investment, then you can do that. But it's a business investment. You cannot just sit here and play video games and expect that that's going to be the way that you get $1,000. You cannot just sit here and do that. Instead, you need to sit down, you need to look at what you're offering, you need to reasonably evaluate the space that you're moving into, and you need to come up with a plan with how you're going to do it for the long term and support yourself in the interim while you're doing it. And that is how you make a business plan on how to be successful on YouTube. I'm the Chris who plays games. Thank you very much for watching this CPG rant.